going to start off with my Henry. This is a beautiful gun. You guys have seen this before. It was in the intro to a bunch of my videos. I don't shoot lever guns nearly often enough, and I want to shoot them a lot more because honestly it's one of my absolute favorite things to do. I'm really going to have some fun with this. So what I'm going to start off with, some Aguila 22 Super Calibris. I don't have a full box of these. I think I probably have, I don't know, 15 or 20 of these in here. I'm going to see how many this thing can take of those Super Calibris. They're actually shorter than a short, so it's a little itty bitty round. And basically the only thing that's in this for propellant is the primer. So we're going to go ahead and see how these things run. I know they'll cycle fine because Henry says they will, and they're one of the best guns made. Like Henry says, made in America or not made at all. I believe it. I love these guns. I've always wanted one since I was a kid. I've said it in several of my videos before. So let's see here. I don't even know. I think I've already got about 7 or 8 in here. I had about 15. I guess we can count when I shoot them how many are in here. Now, I know these are going to be super quiet. I don't even really need ear protection for these, but I'm going to wear it anyway just because if I switch it up later and I go to long rifle, I don't want to have an issue. So I think it took about, I don't know, 13 of those, something like that. We'll count them as we shoot them, but here we go. These are some Super Calibri Aguilas in 22. And here we go. 25 yards for now. Oh my gosh, that is so quiet. They shoot really low to point of aim. Alright, so that was a whole magazine tube full of Calibris. I gotta say, these little buggers are so much fun to shoot. I'm really happy with them. So at 25 yards, I have like an 11 by 18 target. I'm probably 3 to 4 inches below the center of the target. And the center of the target, I think, is like a 2 by 3 or a 3 by 4 oval. So they shoot about 5 to 6 inches lower than center of aim. Alright, so I have 2 Calibris left. I'm going to mix it up here. So I'm going to put in 2 Calibris, and it is empty. I'm going to put in 2 Calibris, and then a couple of shorts. Actually, I'll just fill it up with shorts, and we'll see the difference between a Calibri and a short. So there's 1 Super Calibri. Here's 2, if I can get it out of the package. So there's 2 Super Calibris. Those will be the first 2 rounds to go off. Now I'm going to a short, and actually before I do that, let me show you the difference between a Super Calibri and a short. Whoops, I don't want to lose that. So this is a Super Calibri, this is a short. Actually the short is quite a bit shorter than a Super Calibri. It's kind of hard to get on camera, but it's quite a bit shorter than a Super Calibri. So these have propellant, the shorts do. They're rated at 1100 feet per second. So they're not going to be a super quiet round. They're going to be probably just as loud as a long rifle. But let's go ahead and load up some of these shorts. And this is the fun, again, of having a lever action 22, is you can put literally any 22 rifle ammo in it. I could run shot shells in this if I wanted to. I probably wouldn't use the CCI ones that have the little blue capsules with the shot shell in it, mainly because those, if you slammed them into each other, theoretically one of those little capsules could break. But I do have some of the crimped shot shells. I think they're Winchester Super X. Those ones I would run in this if I wanted to, or I could just buy the Henry smoothbore lever action garden gun. That has a nice wood stock on it. It has no rifling in the barrel. It's a smooth bore. I think Buffalo Outdoors did a really good video on those, and I actually saw one in my local shop. I thought about getting one, but it's just one of those things, again, being self-funded, there's only so much I can do. So 2 Super Calibris, the rest of it's going to be shorts. Big difference. So oddly enough, even though those shorts are 1,100 feet per second and the Super Calibris are only like, I don't know, they're ridiculous, like 450, point of impact is almost exactly the same on the target. Maybe an inch and a half taller with the shorts than the Super Calibris. And it may just be the way I use the sights on this rifle. I haven't shot this thing in probably a year, which saddens me because, like I said, it's one of my favorite rifles. And the other nice thing about lever guns is the capacity on these is pretty high, so for you banned states, this is 100% compliant. Even though it has more than 10 rounds that it can hold, it can do that because it's a tube magazine, and that's what makes it legal. So these are CB short. Wicked quiet. Well, that was odd. I didn't notice a difference between the CB short and the quiets. They sounded the same to me. Again, point of impact, I'm still about 2 inches below the center of that target, so maybe the point of impact isn't really that different even between a long and a quiet because the velocity is the same. All right, so the 22 portion of this video is getting pretty long. I'm gonna run some mini mags through this, and then I'll switch over to my Rossi Model 92. So these are mini mags. Oops, didn't load one. So the fun of these is you can really run them really fast like that. I'm not that quick on it, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. So let me go ahead and pause this. I'll get out my Rossi Model 92. I have some 357 Magnum and some 38 Special that I'm going to run through it. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And start. All right, this is my Rossi Model 92, and I've had this in a couple of videos already. Not as many as I'd like to, which is why I have it out here today. This is a beautiful stainless steel. I'm not exactly sure what kind of wood it is, if it's rosewood or what. It's pretty resilient to nicks and scratches, and it looks really nice. It's not laminate like I thought it originally was, but this is a 38 Special or 357 Magnum gun, and I have some of both today. So, empty chamber right now. Go to half cock for safety, and let's start out with some 357 Magnum. This is Blazer aluminum. I think it's 158 grain, and they are hollow points, semi-jacketed hollow points. So I'll run a couple of magazines of this through, and then I have some standard Winchester 38 Special 130 grain, and I'll run some of that through it as well. So I'm going to try to do this before I run out of video. I don't have too much room left for that, but wow, 357s are a little bit different loading than a 38 Special, that's for sure. And this is one of those things, I haven't quite mastered the side gate loaders on these yet, because if the gate loader closes, it's definitely harder to get it open, and it's harder to get the next round started in the chamber when it does close. So just practice, that's all. That's what I'm working on today. I have 3 357s in there. There's 4. Get it to stay. There's 5. This would be 6. And this thing does kind of hurt my thumbs. It's cold outside today. And last time I did this, I cut my thumb open. I'm going to try not to do this today. Cut my thumb open. So here's number 7. If I can get it in. I guess maybe it only holds 6 357s. No, it should. There's 7. See if it holds 8. Yep, it'll hold 8. If I can get it all the way in. My hand's starting to get cold doing this, so there's 8. Let's see if it fits 9. I think it's 8 or 9 capacity. Yes, so 8 in there, and then if I load it and half cock it so it's safe, I can fit one more. And this actually has a safety on the tang. Right here, there's a little lever you can flip. I think it's kind of stupid, but it's on there. A lot of people take them off. I don't really see the need to take it off. It doesn't bother me. It's part of the gun, so I'm gonna leave it for now. All right, so I have full magazine tube, one in the chamber. Fire is on, so let's go ahead and cock this bad boy and let's run through a magazine of 357 Magnums. This thing is just such a nice, short, compact package, and it's so much fun to shoot. Definitely better than a 22. And I think I'm high because the last time I shot this, I was out to 200. So let me drop my sight down a little bit, put it back on fire. Oh, didn't have one in there. That was a dud. Nope, that was the non-ejected brass from the last shot. So, in my opinion, a lever action that shoots 38 Special and 357 Magnum is the best pistol caliber carbine. So, I have my little Charter Arms undercover here. Both of these can shoot the same exact ammunition. Now, if I carry my Ruger SP-101, both of them can shoot the same exact ammunition, whether it's 38 Special or 357 Magnum. So that's really a bonus, because if you're out in the woods and you want to be a cool old cowboy, you can carry around a 38 Special revolver, and you can carry around a 38 Special 357 Magnum carbine lever gun. So let's go ahead and load up with some 38 Special now, and I can show you the difference. 38 Special and 357 Magnum, they're just a little bit difference in length. The case length is just a hair longer on the 357, so the end of the bullet sticks out just a tiny bit more. And again, they do that so you can't accidentally chamber a 357 in a 38 Special firearm, because that would be very dangerous. So let me go ahead and half cock this, put my safety on, even though it's kind of stupid. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I can still only fit 8 in here. Nope, I can fit 9 in the magazine. Yeah, 9 in the magazine with 38 Special, 1 in the chamber. So this is still unsafe. I'm still going to half cock it. So I have a full magazine and 1 in the chamber. So 10 rounds in this, which is pretty good for 38 Special. Let's go ahead and put some down range. That was it. So, very nice. 38 Special, 357 Magnum, either one of them. Great to shoot, lots of fun. I've had a lot of people ask about these on forums, whether or not they're good guns. I wouldn't hesitate to buy another one of these if I had the opportunity. I think I paid around $520 for this, used, and I traded in some stuff to get it. It's just an absolutely beautiful firearm. I think the finish on it is terrific. It's a little bit chunky when you're cycling the action, so it does have a couple of spots where it's a little bit tight, like when you're first, right at the very end when you're unlocking and locking right here. And it's the action of those lugs going up around the bolt. I've been putting Lucas Extreme gun oil on all of my guns recently, and it's made a world of difference in this one, just keeping all this stuff lubricated, even if it's not all broken in yet. And they do have some sharp edges on some of this stuff, so you can take a file and file it down, make it better. For me, I'm just going to keep shooting it. It'll eventually break in. And while I'm thinking about that, the nice thing about this as well, you can single load it just as easily as you can run it with the magazine. You can just throw one right in the chamber, close that guy up. Wow, that was a 38. This is a 357 Magnum. And it does shoot the brass pretty far out, or the aluminum, depending on what you're shooting. So there you have it. There's my Rossi M92. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break here and go grab my Sears Model 54 and 3030. Don't go anywhere. Alright, so we're back. This is my Sears Model 54. This is a lever action carbine in 3030 Winchester. And this is basically a copy of a Winchester Model 94. From what I understand, these are actually produced for Sears by Winchester. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it here, but it says right here, Sears Model 54. I bought this one because I love Sears stuff. I love the history of Sears. And actually, my other hobby besides shooting is vintage Sears garden tractors, believe it or not. If you want to check my other YouTube channel out, it's Cranky Motorsports. So go ahead and check that out. But I saw this in a gun shop. I love, again, lever actions. That's why we're out here. I wanted a 3030, and this was about $200 cheaper than a Winchester Model 94. When I picked this up, and I've had this for probably 5 years now, I think I paid $375 for it. And really the only difference between a Winchester Model 94 and the Sears one, supposedly the wood that they use on the Winchesters is a little bit nicer. And this front barrel cap, or the front of the stock here, is different on a Winchester Model 94. So this one's kind of more just a formed piece of steel, and it has a couple of screws to hold it on. But for me, they function exactly the same. And this one I put a little bit of paracord on the lever, so when I'm cycling it doesn't hurt my hand as much, because this one is a really chunky action and I was having trouble hurting myself. So what I have to shoot today: Herters 3030. This is 150 grain soft point. Stuff's pretty good. And then Remington core locked 3030. Again, I think this is a 150 grain core locked soft point. So both of them have the same weight on the bullet. Should be pretty much the same. I have this little thing here on the butt of the gun that I could fill up with rounds just to make it look cool if I wanted to. I guess I can do that while we're talking here, and then I'll load her up and shoot her. But this was actually the first lever gun I bought. I always wanted one, like I said. I had friends that had Winchester Model 94s or Marlin 336s or whatever they were, and I really wanted one. And again, being that I'm budget minded, I wanted to buy one I could afford. So this was one I could afford at the time. Very nice gun. It's been good to me. It's empty right now. I'll go ahead and put it on half cock and let's load it up. Let's see how many it takes. It's been a while since I've shot this, probably longer than my Henry, and that one's probably been a year since I shot it. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this one takes 7. So there's 6 in there right now. No, 6 in the yeah, 6 in the mag tube, 1 in the chamber. So a total of 7. Again, put it at half cock for safety and load that last one in there. So this has a total of 7 rounds in it right now. So let's go ahead and see how a 30-30 feels. Oops. That's when you need to pay attention, because sometimes if you load the chamber, instead of just cocking the hammer back, you're used to racking that action. Now I just popped the shell out, but that's alright. Definitely has more kick than a 357. It's been a long time since I shot this thing, and man, I love it. Whoops. That last one didn't want a chamber. It popped out, so let's go ahead and manually load it. Yes! And you can get different grain weights for the bullets and things like that. That's just what I had handy. A while ago, Walmart actually had this Remington stuff on sale for like $10.29 a box or something. So I bought, I don't know, 10 or 12 boxes of it, as much as they had, just because you never see it that cheap. Right now, this Herter stuff I think is $15 or $16 a box. So When I can find this stuff cheap at the end of hunting season, I buy as much as I can. I don't keep a lot of that. I probably have, I don't know, 200, 250 rounds of that stuff that I keep at the house. And that's just because I don't shoot this that often, but all of my guns I try to keep enough surplus that if anything were to happen, I can take care of, take care of business. And instead of necessarily reloading magazines, I can just grab another gun and go to town if I ever had an issue. So hopefully we'll never get to that point in this country, but the way coronavirus is going, you never freaking know. I don't know. People are going nuts over that coronavirus. I used to drink Corona when I was younger, and I never had any issues with it. So I don't know what the big deal is. All right, so I got 6 in there. Let's go ahead and 1 in the chamber, half cock, and finish loading up that mag tube here. If I can get the gate down. There we go. All right, so there we go. This time, instead of racking it, I'm just going to cock the hammer and shoot, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Yes! Click. All right. I'm going to do that again because I don't shoot this gun very often. I really enjoy it. So this time, I'm going to load 1 in the chamber first. Again, half cocked for safety. Don't let the hammer down, because if you do, it'll go off. Half cocked for safety, and let's put 6 in the tube. And I'm going to alternate Remington and Herters. I'm not really out here for accuracy today. It's a really windy day. It's kind of cold, so my hands are kind of freezing right now. I'm just coming out to have some fun, which is what I always do, whether I have crummy targets or not. So here we go. Again, I have a target at 50 or a target at 25 and a target at 50. I'm just plinking away, aiming at something. Most of my shots with the 30-30 are high on this particular one. This rear leaf sight is kind of odd. 25 yards, it's definitely too close for this rifle. 50 to 75 is kind of where I'm really comfortable shooting this. Out past 100, I end up dropping it pretty low. And realistically, I know everybody has a story about somebody that's killed a deer at 200 yards with a 30-30. For me, 100 yards is pretty much what I'm comfortable with on this. This doesn't have the ability to put a scope on it unless I use some of the side holes on the receiver and have one of those big gawky looking things. I don't want that because it's a top ejection, so it's going to be buckhorn sights on this thing. So at 25 yards, I'm a little high. 50 yards, I know I'm right in the center of the mass where I want to be. So let's just go through this again. Oh, is that all of them? Nope. That was my fault. I short racked it. When I racked it, I didn't quite go back far enough to chamber around. It kicked the old one out, but it didn't chamber a new one. Now I'm starting to get a bit of heat mirage on this thing because the barrel is so hot, so I'm going to have to let this one cool down. Thank you guys for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. This has been a totally lever action Saturday. I appreciate you watching. Remember, support your 2A rights. God bless America, and have a great day.